Yes,
face.
nice to see you and hear your voice.
And so,
Yeah.
well, okay, well, welcome to So Zoom In. I
Well, thank you.
appreciate that very much.
Well, thank
Tina,
you. It's fun.
Fi- so you go by Tina
Yeah,
Field Howe, right?
yeah, I use my
Or-
middle name Field because there's a famous playwright, Tina Howe,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've actually gotten phone calls, people thinking that they were calling the playwright, and they got me asking me to come speak at their events. I'm like, okay, sure. I just so you know, I'm the
Uh,
screenwriter, not the playwright. Okay, thank you. Click.
uh, well, don't they know you're an awesome screenwriter?
Yeah.
I mean, like you're an
They
awesome
haven't heard. I should start writing plays. Actually, I have written a couple of little short things
Oh, have you?
to produce
You've written,
locally.
you've written novels, you've written
Yeah,
screenplays, written shorts, right? So
yeah,
yeah, why not
yeah.
throw some plays in it?
And I'm thinking about going back to writing novels because it's a
Really?
lot. It's a lot easier than writing screenplays and trying to get. It's easier to get a book that you've done well noticed than it is a script that you've done well. I think. I mean,
Well,
that's just my opinion.
but you've had quite a bit of recognition. I mean, top 10% for Page. That's
Yeah,
one of the
a
top,
couple.
you know,
But
the
I've been doing.
Writers Lab.
I know, but I guess it's like when you've already got 9 years into really focusing on it. And yeah, I got a
Right,
couple things, which is cool. But,
right,
after 9 years, it would be nice to actually, do it
right.
for a living. I did have a paid writing assignment last year, which was nice.
Okay,
And I'd
good.
like to try to get some more of those. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's like I still have to have a day job, and that's the tough
right,
part for anybody,
right.
really in the creative world. You have to do what you have to do until the real thing you want to do hits, until it takes
Well,
off. So
we're
that's what
also
I
in a
do.
we're in a pandemic too. So, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
which is, yeah, like, okay, so are you really
Yes,
being affected
yes.
by,
I mean,
I
where I
be-
live, well,
yeah,
I've worked from home for many years, so
right.
continuing to work. So, and my child is grown and on his own lives in Pittsburgh. So,
Mhm.
um, it's just I really hasn't affected me
Yeah.
myself. I
Oh,
mean, it
good.
has affected a lot of people that I work with connected to my day job, but because they all had offices and then they're home with their whole families working around the dining room
Right.
table trying to get their work done. So it's really affected other people more than it's affected me. How about
But
you? You've been affected.
Los Angeles is kind of crazy,
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
especially when we had those riots and, the
yeah,
protesting and,
yeah,
and then like the spike and, it's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
I thought, oh, it'll be over soon. I don't think so, but
I think it will. All New York State schools just found out yesterday they are returning to classes, live classes in
they
school.
are okay.
Yes,
That,
because the governor figured out that them not going to school is hurting the economy in a really, really big way.
well, yeah,
Like people having to quit their jobs to stay home and try to teach their kids and things like that. There's been a lot of pushback from New York State residents saying we have to go back to
right.
work. Our kids have to go back to school, figure out a way. So they're figuring out a way.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
Hopefully that,
yeah,
comes out this way too.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully it does. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So yeah. So it's just yeah. There
yeah,
are really good things about being a creative person. I mean, you get to express your
mm,
voice, and the
right,
downside is getting people to really notice that and believe in you, and really.
right.
I mean, I've been pitching my current feature scripts a lot and not getting any requests, for scripts. So that's kind of a bummer.
Mm,
But that's the way it is. There's good
right.
times and there's bad times. There's good times and there's bad times. Like with
Good
anything
times.
else, you just have to roll with the flow.
And just keep writing, keep at it,
Yep, keep
right?
working at writing or writing related
Mm,
things.
right.
Yeah.
So what are you working on right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, I wrote a biopic, a sports biopic
Mm.
for roller derby queen Cindy McCoy, who was big in
Uh,
the 60s, early
mhm.
60s. She was big in the roller derby world. And I wrote a screenplay based on her life a few years ago, and I'm just totally restructuring it. It just needs to
Mm,
be told more in flashback.
Mhm.
to move the story along and have more in her present day. So I'm right in the process of just restructuring, and I'll be rewriting the whole thing because I've learned a lot more over the last few years and grown a lot more as a screenwriter, and I know what needs to be done better now than I did, even back then. So yeah, I think it'll be a lot more dynamic story. To
Sounds
tell
like
it
a fun
the way
story.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell. Yeah, she had quite a life, a young life. She got into professional roller derby at 14.
Wow, that is
She
young.
went international at 15. She was in Australia for a couple years doing, because roller derby was huge in Australia. And then she came back to the U.S. She actually broke her back and had to come home. And she recovered and got back into it in the U.S. for about a year. And then she just, at 17, she says, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm going to go back and finish my high school education and go to college and all that. And she did. So it was like 3 years of her life. The story takes place over 3 years of her life. Well, no, actually, it starts younger. Actually, this flashback started when she's like 8. And then they work their way up until she retires at 17.
Wow. Sounds like
But
a fun.
they didn't wear a lot of padding back then. Like, they didn't wear helmets, most of them. They didn't wear helmets. They only had a tiny bit of little knee pads and a little pad on their tailbone, and that was pretty much it. And they used the bank track. So it's banked track. Do you know what I mean by a banked track?
No, what exactly is bank track?
Well, in the early days, roller derby had a big oval track, but it was banked. So you really got up speed. Now they still do have roller derby, but it's done on a flat, usually a gymnasium floor.
Okay.
So I don't get up a lot of speed. Not like in the old days when they would whip around those curves of the bank track. So it's very exciting the way they conducted their games back then.
But then more people got hurt though, right? And that's why they find you.
A lot of them got hurt. I don't think that they went to flat tracks because people got hurt. I mean, now they wear padding all over, helmets and padding and padding and padding and padding and padding, bubble wrap. But I think it's because the flat tracks are expensive to build and take up and put down. You know, they're hard to move, to store, to put up, to take down. You know, it takes a whole crew of people a couple days to put one up. So I think, and there still are some in existence, but they're just not really used all that often. And they were built from plywood. The floors were, or masonite or plywood or something, the floors back then. So yeah, so it's really, so I'm rewriting that. So I'm working on that currently.
It sounds like, I remember Whip It with, was it Ellen Page? That was a really fun movie. It did well. So I think people like those kind of stories, especially based on true stories.
Yeah.
Well, and
she had a really, really super, and it's called Beyond All Odds, the Cindy McCoy story. Because her parents split up when she was, like 8. It was really rough. She was sent to live with turkey farmer relatives for a couple years in Colorado, and it was really rough. It was really rough young life. And then she discovered roller derby by accident when her mother and her boyfriend took her to a park in LA, and they went past the Olympic Stadium and they were having roller derby. She'd never seen it. And she was 14, and she went in and she went, this is it. Really, and she was really petite, really pretty, like a model pretty, and very petite, but feisty. And she's still feisty. She's great. She's great.
What is she doing now?
I believe she's retired, and she lives in New Mexico with her husband in New Mexico. So,
I hope this movie gets made.
Thank you.
It sounds like a fun movie.
Oh, I think it would. I think it'd be awesome. Especially if they do use the bank track, and have a few people who are actors who are roller skaters that would like to be involved in it. They've approached me about being involved. Of course, we'll see how that goes. We need to find a producer first.
Right.
A couple producers that would like to take it on. So.
Now, would it
Well,
take place? Would it take place in Los Angeles or
wherever, well, I think there is a bank track in LA in storage somewhere in the LA area
because I think
that we
roller
could probably
derby.
get access to.
I think roller derby is big here in LA.
Yeah, I think the flat track stuff. I mean, there's a team near here. There are a couple teams
Oh,
in my
really?
area. Yeah, there's one that they have games 20 miles from here. Another one 30 miles from here. So it really is popular. But again, it's all flat track. It probably would be shot. It could be shot completely in LA. Even the Australia scenes could be shot in LA. I mean, it would cost a lot to actually go to Australia to shoot.
Right.
And plus, those stadiums are gone. All of the stadiums are gone. The LA Olympic Stadium is gone. They just tore that down a couple of years ago.
Wow.
There were a couple stadiums throughout Australia, and they're gone. So they could just use one location and just dress it differently.
Right.
Put skins on the tracks and, you know, whatever they need to for the effects and just give it a different look. So they could use the same location. So if they got a warehouse or something to shoot it in, that would be fairly easy. And it's about, it's about maybe a third of it. A third of the movie is actually the track action, the game action. And the rest is a couple different locations. So, you know, the personal, the character stuff, you know, the family, the struggle with the mother's boyfriend.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds interesting. Yeah. Well, now you've actually produced a couple of projects yourself too, right? What was that
I did a short film based on one of my scripts. Yeah, a dark comedy. It's really funny. I've never written a dark comedy feature. Well, that's not true. I do have another sports fantasy that's got a lot of dark comedy in it. But my shorts always tend to be dark comedy. Really dark and really funny. I don't know what it is. I haven't really tried to feature it quite on that scale like that yet. But and I also produced, well, actually, you know, I wrote 2 novels before I was working on the third one when I got involved with screenwriting and more. And I dabbled in it on and off over the years. I got really involved in it like 9 years ago, and I was outlining the third novel, and I said, well, I'm going to switch to screenwriting. So the first thing I tried to do was to take my first novel and shove it into a script, and it does not work. It does not work. And I think then I tried to write it as a TV series. And I think I make a really good TV series. So I need to get that going again. And what I'm really going to do is, I heard that right now they're actually looking for treatments and mini show Bibles for not even looking for pilots, but an idea. So I really need to get out my old show Bible and you know, fix the pitch Bible and fix that up and start pitching that. But so then the other thing I produced was an 8 CD audio book of my first novel. So I actually did a full cast audio book, unabridged, of the novel. And it took me 2 years to do all that. And that was the first thing that I ever did that was that big.
Wow.
Up until that point, I do a lot of corporate voiceover, but it's just single track stuff. Well, this had multiple tracks and music and sound effects, so it's like it was a big job. So, and I did it in between my day job, so it took me 2 years to complete it. But that turned out pretty nice.
So your audiobook, can that be found online or like?
It was on CD Baby, but it's like 99 tracks, and I could not get them. To list it as one downloadable project. I don't know what the deal was, but people bought it, tried to download it, and they just didn't have the bandwidth to download. It's 8 CDs, worth. So I've been just selling it. I think it's on Amazon, but I think the price that they're asking is way too high, and I've communicated with them, and I can't get them to put the right price on things. So I haven't had a lot of luck selling it online, but I do occasionally. I put it in stores, and I haven't had a signing in a year or two, but I'll do signings at events and so on.
Right.
and sell them there. But
can we see what it looked like? Can you put
the
it
audiobook? Sure. Well, this was actually the first book in the cover. Alyssa of the Fields is the title. And it's grounded science fiction, but on another planet. It's similar to Earth, but on a fictitious planet. And it takes place 3,000 years after, as humans are recovering from a major, world war that just destroyed everything. So there's all this old buried technology. And Alyssa is a young girl of the Field clan who, by mistake, meets this wild clan that they have very little to do with. And ultimately, she helps bring them together, the two tribes together, to fight this common mutant beast that was also a result of war. So that's the basic story. And these are the CDs inside. So each one has got, I designed everything. So each CD has got, the number on it, and they're all, can't see very well with my green screen. They're all different colors. Each one is color coded, and so that's what they look like on the inside.
Okay.
And I had them replicated at Oasis, which is a big CD replicator company.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
Yeah. So
is that the type of thing that could be transferred into, like, say, an animation series? Or?
Yeah, I think very easily. So even the cover is animated. I mean, it looks animated.
Right.
It's illustrated, digitally illustrated. That's my niece posed for me for that.
Oh, that's nice.
My beautiful niece Caitlin posed for me when she was young. It could very easily be animated. Okay. And it's funny that a lot of people think it's like, when I've done book signings, like boys will look at it and kind of scrunch up their nose. I said, there's great warriors in it. You would love it because the warriors are awesome. And it actually, one of my sister's friends bought a copy of the book and sent the first one and sent it to her son who was in Afghanistan. He said every guy read it in his group. Every guy, they passed the book around, they loved it because the warriors are so awesome. They really got into the warriors. And there's a female warrior who's many of them, because they have the other tribe has a more egalitarian society where women, it reflects a lot of what we've gone through and still continue to go through on Earth,
So it looks like it had some award stickers on it.
Yeah, the audiobook got a Reader's Favorite Award, Reader Views Award, and a Mom's Choice Award.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah, and they're for like independent. So there are a lot of awards for professionally produced, mainstream produced audiobooks, but not a lot, at least at this time. This is like 10 years ago now, for independent things. So there were only a few independent awards. So those are the ones that I entered.
Good.
And then the second book came out a couple years later. That's The Trail Folk of Shunarkun. That's the planet's name, which I have since changed because nobody could pronounce it. And again, that's my niece posed for me for this one, and my son posed for the other character, the warrior character love interest. Yeah, they're really teenagers. It's for tweens and up.
Okay.
There's no real, nothing happens in it. Well, there's scary stuff, but it's not gory stuff. Scary stuff.
So young adults.
Yeah, young adults and up.
Okay.
Yeah, people in their 70s and 80s have read it and really enjoyed it, and kids who are good readers, like say 12 and up, have really liked it too. So.
Oh, well.
So I need to get that TV series idea going again and get that out there.
That sounds great, because I think that's also something in demand too.
Yeah.
Series based on young adult books.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
That sounds exciting. Yeah, some stuff to get done and you're doing it. Yeah. You're definitely doing it. Yeah. So you design the covers too. So
yeah, I do a lot of digital illustration. I mean, I used to do more. I'm writing more now. It was like sort of like I started doing more of the digital illustration, and then what I would do with the novels is that I would, write the first draft, and when I felt like it was ready for other people to see it, I would ask like 10 people to read it. I'd give them drafts and ask them and comment,
Right. Yeah.
Is there something you didn't get, and blah, blah, blah. And I had one teenager found a hole that I was able to fill with the real the kickoff of the real love relationship between Alyssa and Zarin, the warrior. So, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was perfect. And this perfect hole, which also sets up a great deal of angst between them when it happens.
Oh, okay,
good.
A
lot of angst between them. So, so while people were reading it, I designed the covers. So I would not try to think about the book. I'd give people a month or whatever, get back to me. And they always have really good comments, really good comments for me that I could, feedback that I could build in. And then I also created these maps, which was fun. This is black and white, but I created them in color. So it's like a map of the area
cool.
where the story takes place. And the second book has another map that attaches to the first map. So it's like
smart.
Map 1 and then map, I think it goes in the bottom. Yeah, it goes on the bottom. So map 2 fits up to map 1. And I had those printed in color that I give with the book when I sell the books of the audio book. So then I did that. So I've done a lot. And then I also, in between, I did a children's picture book called Snail's Worth, a slow little story. And that one's full color interior.
Right. Oh, you can't really see it.
I know. Sorry, but
that's all right.
I could turn off the background.
Did you do the illustrations yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I wrote it and illustrated it. So I'm just going to turn this off so you can see it a little better.
Okay.
So.
Oh, wow.
There's Snail's Worth the snail. And then I wrote the stories in the side.
Nice.
And then I wrote a poetic version on the artwork. So like a rhyming poetry version. So then I just have all these different characters. That's Huey, Hop, Toad.
That's beautiful.
I had a lot of fun doing this. And
now, are those for older kids or younger kids?
Younger kids. It's for like, say, 3 and up.
Being read to.
There's Snively Snake. She's scary. Because she's a little scary. But
that's beautiful artwork there. Good job.
Thank you. It ends in a very pretty dawn coming up over the garden and stars. So,
beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks. And then some of the people that were in my audiobook did the little CD version.
So, that's great.
So they recorded the CD version for me. So
very nice.
I really like doing audio. I love audio. And I do that a lot for my day job. I'm doing that a lot right now for the day job. A lot of audio editing and so on right now.
Oh, so you edit it yourself? Do you just do everything?
When I did the audiobooks, I did everything. Yeah. And I redid the audio on my little short film that I made called Country Club Confession. The sound got really messed up, so I went through and I had to record the actors again and match up the sound and put in all the background and the music again. So
wow.
Yeah. So
how long did that take? Was that?
It's only 5 minutes, so a couple hours. It took a couple hours. It wasn't too bad.
Okay, but you did it. So, well, it's great that you like to do all this. I mean, that you know how to do all that stuff, because that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, I would like to learn more. I don't have like Adobe Premiere or a good film editing software right now, because I've been focusing on the writing.
Right.
And so, do you do editing, film editing?
Myself, no.
Do your own? No.
No. Yeah, basic. I mean, like the basic stuff, Yeah. But the complicated, like you said, it takes time, and you have to teach yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do it though.
Yeah.
The best way to learn is to buy
yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's more of a time thing with me. It's actually, I bought some pieces of equipment to film on my iPhone, because the iPhone pictures are beautiful, and now a lot of people are making phones or movies or parts of movies on iPhones. And I bought like a couple, like a housing and a what do you call a gimbal, so you can have smooth transition. You know, when you move it around, it's smooth, and I haven't even learned to use that yet, and I've had that for a year or two. But,
well, yeah, you'll get to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it someday. I hope so.
Of course. Yeah. So, but your novels sound exciting. So say you were to write another novel, would it be in that same vein of just like the continuing story, or? I
still have the outline that I was working on for the third book. So I would like to, what I'd like to do is to, I did this in a large format book. It's like a 6x9 format. It's not like your typical paperback size. What I would like to do is write the third book and put them in a smaller paperback and have a trilogy. So I'd have a trilogy of the books in one paperback size. So I thought about that. I also got another idea recently for a brand new one.
Brand new novel.
A brand new novel to write. Yeah, new characters. Which it could be a series, very easily be a series of books. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out.
Okay.
We'll see. It's nice to have possibilities, though. It's nice to have all this stuff to work on. Then it's like finding the time to work on it all. I guess the most important stuff will get done.
Right.
Eventually.
The opportunities always do come up.
Yeah.
But then once you have a book, you can always turn the book into a series for TV.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. And that's actually what I'm, working on with this.
Right.
The Fields is to turn this in. I think it'd make a great series. It's different. It's not like the Shannara Chronicles. There's no elves in it and things like that. It's these people are really the same people. They were just split in their long past. They were purposely split. So, but yeah, because it's got a different history. I didn't want to make it Earth, because first it was too painful to make this destroyed Earth for me at the time when I was writing it. And then I thought, no, I really want to have a planet with its own history, its own technology. And the first book doesn't get into the technology much at all, just touches on it from what they learn about their history. But the second book gets into the technology, and it's really fun. It gets into just rediscovering the technology. And the people are like infants when they discover something. It's like, it's just fun. It's fun.
Oh, fun is definitely good. With adventure, excitement.
Yeah, there's a lot of adventure. There's the mutants, these mutant monsters that do horrible things to them, to the people, and they have to fight them. That's that's kind of gruesome. That first battle they have with them is kind of gruesome. But there's enough going on. There's enough set up in the first book, setups, that actually kind of start to pay off at the end of the first book, but they really pay off in the second book. So like, it's like a clear cut between the, would be like a season. So book one could be a season, a TV season. Book two would be the second season, very easily to make that leap.
Do you see it as animated or not?
It could be. It could be animated. I mean, I saw it as live action, which it wouldn't be too tough to do it as live action. Yeah. There's not a lot of effects.
Right.
There are not a lot of effects, just some. And book two has more effects. But I think if season went well, there would be no problem having more effects in season two.
Right.
Because people want to see it. It'd get a bigger budget to do some more of the effects.
Where can one find a copy of the book?
The books are on every place. Probably the best place to go would be the publisher. And the publisher that I use is called booklocker.com.
Oh, Booklocker, okay.
Yeah, Booklocker. It's great. They're a wonderful publisher. They're they're an independent publisher, but they don't take anything in like the others do and charge you a lot of money. Okay. So you have to like send them a manuscript and they have to read it or parts of it. Uh-huh. And if it's, well written, no grammatical, formatting is good. Well, they will format it for you if you need that. Wow. I did my own because I had some graphics to put in. I have a little cute little. There are 2 moons above Shunarkun, so I have this little graphic that I put in between the chapter breaks.
How cool.
The 2 moons. So nice. I wanted to lay it out because I've done that. That's what I've done for years. I've done layout for my job, so I laid it out. But they also have like a separate web page for every book on their site. Oh, I started to say they don't just take anything and then offer you editing services because they don't provide editing services. So you have to make sure to get it edited yourself. And I did. I have a good friend who proof edited everything for me.
Nice.
Couple times. And she's really good. And if she didn't understand something, she would put a eek. It's so funny. Eek in the margin. Like, what is it? And she let me figure it out while she was saying eek. Yeah, it's really funny. So they don't just take anything. So they don't have thousands and thousands of books up there. I'm not even sure if they have 1,000 yet. They might have a few more than that. But they're wonderful to work with and quite inexpensive to get a book, published up there.
Now, do you also sell it like on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon, all those different ones, or do you go through?
Well, Book Locker sets everything up. So virtually the books are on every online bookseller in the U.S. and the U.K.
Wow. Okay.
So they just put them up there. Okay. But like I said, the prices aren't always right. I don't know if they put them up on purpose. I don't know. But Book Locker, their site doesn't. And you can also have different formats, PDF and different formats.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I was talking to a producer friend of mine, and he was saying because of the pandemic and all these strict rules with filming and bringing actors together, if you have any type of animation, that's ideal. Okay. Just from the sound of it, it sounds like it could be an ideal animation series.
Yeah, I think it could. I think it could work out really well, and that's.
But either way, too, even like live action.
Well, that's how I would. I could pitch it either way. Actually, it's like my science fiction scripts. Like I've spent the last week or so pitching them on VPF Virtual Pitch Fest.
Right.
And I say it could be shot live action or animation. Because I'm very detailed and I make sure that people could see. They say, I can see what you're trying. I can see it. So I try to make things as visual as possible. So I think when I write sci-fi, I'm already kind of writing animation.
Right.
And last year, the script that I wrote was an animated script for a Canadian producer. It was a Disney princess type movie. But I'm not calling it Disney princess because it's
right.
not. Right. But it's that type, that feel, that feel. And I loved it. I'd never really written animation before. I loved it. Because when you're writing animation, it's like you're the director.
Uh-huh.
You tell, the characters. I mean, you do, gestures and you can really get into the detail of what they're doing when it really matters. Whereas you would do that in a live action. You would not get that detail because the actors have to figure it out. The director needs to figure out those smaller points.
Right.
So it's really a blast writing animation. I definitely want to write more animation. So I've been pitching my sci-fi scripts as either or, live action or animation. And that's what I would probably do with this, with a list of fields.
Cool.
But for the audiobook, I got lots of awards, for the audiobook and, between the books and the audiobook. And actually I have created a concept poster for almost all of my feature scripts. I have a concept poster. So on the bottom, I put, the images of all the awards,
nice.
that I've gotten. So you know, that kind of will help, you know, when I get ready to pitch this. But I need to get that going soon, very soon.
Well, do you have a manager right now, or do you have?
I had a manager for a couple of years, but I haven't had one now for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I was pitching to managers as well as producers on VPF, but nobody requested any of the scripts that I've pitched so far.
But yeah, it is. I remember talking to an artist friend, and Ed Moses. He passed on, and I spoke with him, and I asked him, well, so what was the secret to your success? Because, you know, he was this incredible abstract painter, and he said the trick is to just stay in it. You just stick with it, and just keep doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what everybody says.
Yeah,
and I believe that's true. I believe that's true, but it's, you know,
it's like how much time
at the same time. Yeah, it's like I'm not in my 30s anymore. You know, I'm not in my 30s.
Neither am I.
I know. And it's like, okay, well, I've already been at this 9 years. So, but then again, I don't mind working on multiple kinds of projects either. So, you know, I'm working on the McCoy script rewrite, and I've been making lots of notes on the new novel idea. And then I know that I want to, you know, update my show Bible, you know, my pitch deck for the Alyssa books. And I've got lots of things like that going on. And they sort of shift around, I think, depending on the demand, you know, of when I think I need to get something out and to whom, or if I hear of somebody, you know, then I will shift and do whatever I need to do. So I'm always working on something. It's just such a strong need to write more than anything in these last several years. It's just need to do it. And I know that it'll find where it's supposed to be, where I'm supposed to be focused, you know.
Well, I noticed on your website too, you offer to help other writers.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Yes.
A lot of other production companies too. So if they need like a rewrite on something, or, you know, put something together from like a Bible or a synopsis or treatment, that's a great service.
Yeah, I haven't pushed that too hard yet. I have that on a web page. I actually have been making a little video on Animoto. They're switching platforms right now. Have you heard of Animoto? It's kind of cool. You can make these really cool, anything you want. You can make wedding videos. You can make ads. You can make. They have different formats and shapes, and but they don't have the voiceover component. At least last time I checked, they'd taken that out of the new version. I need that back. So once I put that back, which I think they might do, then I can finish my nice flashy ad that I want to post places. That's one of the things I started working on when I was furloughed for 2 months off my day job. So I was really working on that really hard. And I have, you know, some testimonials, and I have worked with a few people recently as clients to help them. And it's not like I try to rewrite their stories.
Right.
You know, I really read more for clarity, you know, clarity, consistency. Would the character really say it this way or do this? But I don't try to rewrite anything for them. A lot of people will. They'll tell you, oh, it shouldn't be a comedy, it should be a drama, or it should be, you know, it shouldn't be family, it should be a slasher. I mean, there are people who will do that. I know people that have had that done to them. Right, this would be better. It's not a family film. It's a thriller. I wouldn't do that to anybody. Now, I have worked with somebody who, she had a drama. It was hilarious. I mean, it was funny. And I was like, you know, comedy is but it's not. It's supposed to be drama. But I said, and other people read it, and they said the same thing. It's hilarious. You know, the characters and the way they come through. But that wasn't me trying to rewrite it. That's what I was seeing. I was seeing this comedy. So I don't know where she went with that, if she did rewrite that or not. But yeah, I've worked quite a lot. And somebody last month sent me 2 versions of a pilot, and just said it just tell me which one you like better and why. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
So, okay. So I read the first one. Yeah, it's real interesting concept. I read the second one. I said, oh, this is the one. This is the one. And this is why. And he said, did you notice that I left out that one character? I said, no. Didn't miss him. Didn't miss him at all.
Okay.
So no, didn't miss them. And so it just depends on what they need.
Right.
There's another client that I'll be working with who English is their second language.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just be helping to smooth out the language.
Right.
I love proof editing. I love it. So I'm fine with that, with doing that. So we will be working together. But and I have created a couple of concept posters for people, using royalty-free images and so on.
It's those things I think that some writers have really hard time with, so to offer that service, I think is very valuable.
Yeah.
Because some people will need it and they just don't have the talent for it. I mean, they can write a screenplay, in any genre, but when it comes to the log line or the treatment or
the log lines are the hardest part for me to write. It's so hard to distill, really. I mean, I rewrite and I'll rewrite and I'll rewrite, and people will say, oh, we need this. Everybody needs it. Everybody is too close to their work. So everybody needs feedback and editing, and I go for that too. I send stuff to friends to read all the time, other writer friends, because they catch stuff that non-writer friends.
Right.
Oh, it's great. It's great. No, it's not. It can't be. It can't be that. It needs work. I know it needs work. So I send it to writer friends, and we're a lot more honest with each other about, things. Yeah. So it's something that, working on a lot of different things.
But that's good. Right? It keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, until we started talking about it, I had to think real hard. Well, what am I working? Oh, yeah, there's this. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. And there's that. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. It's like, now I got to get back to that one. It's like.
Right. But that's good. Instead of figure out
good.
what you want to write, and that white page standing, in front of your face. And, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the McCoy story sounds absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, she's awesome. Cindy's awesome.
How long have you been working with her?
Well, when did I do this one? I think I wrote this one 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And I interviewed her at great length to get details about her life when she was younger. And so, I don't know, several hours I interviewed her just to get background information. And, after I wrote the first draft, we talked some more. And I said, I really wanted to get it accurate, at the same time, use the most interesting stuff. And so there's a lot of drama in her life. So really capitalizing on the drama and the conflict, and conflict on the roller rink, on the rink as well, or the track, as well as in her personal life. It's just full of it. Wow. And,
sounds very exciting.
So, yeah. So there's a lot to work with there. But I was thinking over the, since I wrote it and then, reading a lot of scripts and watching a lot of movies, and it's like, what do I really, really love about movies? Especially the more recent ones. There's a lot of flashback in them. Right. When I wrote this, we weren't supposed to use flashback. I mean, it was kind of like, don't do flashback. It's like, well, why not? Because you're an unknown writer. Unknown writers don't.
Oh, right.
Some of the stuff you learn is just, what do I want to say?
Malarkey.
Malarkey. There you go.
There you go.
A lot of it's just malarkey. And it's like, you have to write with the character. You just have to write what's best for the characters. It's really all about the characters. It's not this, not doing this and not doing that because somebody says you don't do it that way.
Right.
I'm actually learning now to be a lot more. And I actually like voiceover. So not supposed to use flashback. You're not supposed to use voiceover. All the winning movies use flashback and voiceover. I mean, I look at them. All that one, got nominated for Academy Award. That one won Academy. They all have it. So it's like Cindy's story was very linear. but it doesn't really get to the roller derby action until halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're writing a movie about this roller derby person, you've got to have more of it up front and intersperse it. So the best way to intersperse it is to have flashbacks. So while she's recovering from her broken back, which happens like about 3/4 of the way through, I'm having her flashback linearly. It drives me crazy when they flash back and it moves around.
Right.
You know, it's not sequential. That drives me a little crazy. I get lost, but I'm just going to have it sequential flashbacks.
Okay.
And then I have to, of course, rewrite the whole thing because now the theme of her in the present needs to reflect in what's going on in her past, or the past needs to reflect in what's going on in the present. So you just can't throw them in just to throw them in. It's got to relate. So there's going to be a lot more of those kinds of scenes, like while she's recovering, and also build up the tension with her mother's boyfriend.
Right.
And it's gonna be a lot better. It's gonna be a lot better.
Nice.
So,
I hope to
that
read
could
it.
probably also be animated. Come to think of it.
But that sounds like it'd be fun as a live action because people love those sports movies, you know.
I know. Yeah.
You know, and
I
remember Alita, I think James Cameron was an executive producer, and it was a kind of CGI with live action.
Yeah.
And there was that part of it was a big roller derby thing, and then even in the Harley Quinn movie Birds of Prey, roller derby was big. So it's like there seems to be like a demand for roller derby stuff. People just seem to really enjoy it. It's fast, it's exciting, you know, and to hear an inside story for someone, it sounds like a great story.
Yeah. I think it was a good story, but it is a good story, but I just need to tell it differently. I need to pay it out differently. So that's why I'm working on the rewrite.
You could do it. You're a wonderful writer. You were part of the Writers Lab. Not too long ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago, and then the Stowe Story Labs. The page, because of the page.
Right.
For another TV pilot that I wrote. That's another story, but I was surprised that one got as far as it did a page. I really was. That the last TV pilot I wrote. And then I worked with a mentor to turn that into a feature film.
Right.
It didn't work very well. Yeah. So I sort of lost my energy around that. So.
But not just anyone wins that stuff. You have to take a lot of talent and really have a great story. So I'm really proud of you. That's exciting.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
So I look forward to reading the McCoy script if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, absolutely.
It sounds very exciting and and you're just talking about it and I can visualize it already.
Oh, cool.
So sounds very exciting.
Okay. I'll send it to you. Thank you.
And Alyssa of the Fields, that's something Alyssa of the Fields, that's something I would definitely check out because that sounds like fun.
Would you like me to send you? I have PDFs I could send.
Oh, could you?
Do you mind reading PDFs?
Oh, not at all.
I don't have it on Kindle right now. I did, but I had to take it down, and that's another story. I have to fix something and put it back up. But I can send you the PDFs.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. I just love that you're writing so much and that you're able to go in so many different directions with it too. Because I think as a writer, that's what you have to do. You have to be able to be flexible and do what it takes. I think the days of you just do it, right? Yeah. And you're doing it. And
well, the days of just writing anymore, they're just writing one thing. I think you're right. That's kind of over.
And everything
you have to be flexible, and you have to be, as a screenwriter, you've got to be a marketer. You've got to be a pitcher. You've got to be all these things that maybe you didn't 20 years ago. I don't know.
Well, all the marketing stuff is kind of like, what?
I know. Now you got to do the show Bibles, and you got the treatments, and it's like, it is hard for a lot of people because they don't have they haven't done it before. So yeah, I can see why that would be hard to do.
But and I think that's wonderful that you offer that as a service to help people.
Well, thank you.
So that's I think a very valuable service.
Yeah. It's really tight. The thing is, I'm much more comfortable helping people on their scripts. I mean, if you have something send me something. I'd love to read. We can exchange. I'd love to read it. We'll exchange. It's also a time thing. So doing the script consult kinds of things isn't as time consuming as doing a poster, like a concept poster, something that can take 20, 40 hours, to do something like that. And then if, I use royalty-free images, all my images for the most part are royalty-free, so it's searching for those. That takes a lot of time.
Right.
Downloading those, and it's just very time consuming to do that. So the thing that I'm really going to be pitching more, marketing more, is the script, working with the scripts.
That's exciting.
It doesn't take as much time.
Well, I have to put out there, when I first started writing MOB, you read one of the very first early drafts. And I
did.
And you gave me feedback that was so valuable. And we didn't really talk afterwards.
No, we didn't.
Things got busy.
I remember now. Yes.
But what you told me was just so valuable, and I appreciate it so much, because it really shifted not only my mindset, but the way I saw the story and the characters. And I was just really able to turn it. So that exchange is so valuable. And I'm like so sorry, because I wanted to, I was like, I need to tell Tina, but I just, life started happening. And
I know. Tell me about it, right?
Right. And then this pandemic.
You had to remind me that I read it. It's like, oh yes, I do remember.
It makes such a huge difference.
Oh, good.
And so thank you.
Well,
thank you for doing that.
Thank you for saying that. I'm also a creativity coach. I've taken creativity coach training. And that plays into when I tell people what I think or give them advice or whatever. It always plays into that in some aspect.
Well, what I like too is because the feedback you gave me, it was I could tell it wasn't working for you. and the way you told me was very encouraging and very supportive, instead of saying this really sucks.
Oh, I've gotten that before.
Right.
I've gotten that before. There is no call for that.
It's whatsoever. But
I mean, some people are so mean, and it's like, what? How is that helpful?
Right, because we're artists, and I think by that definition, that makes us sensitive to our own work because we're being the creator, right?
Well, there's that too. There's also it's all in here.
Right.
And we're trying to get it out so that it's understandable and entertaining and meaningful for the reader. That's hard. It's the hardest thing in the world to do, is to be a writer. It's like, take it easy on us, will ya? I mean, it's really hard. Thing is, a lot of people that give that advice, they really haven't written much themselves.
Exactly.
And that's really sad. I mean, that's really sad.
But
I would really, like to get something produced that will give me more credibility. I mean, I've optioned, I've had a writing job. It's not produced yet. Just to give me a little more credibility to actually get something, in production and produced.
Well, I think you are pretty well credentialed, especially with these wins that are not easy wins, and and the things that you're putting out there. You're published, and
see, I'm putting pressure on myself.
Yes,
I think that's what we do as humans. It's like we want to get that next level.
Right. You're getting there.
Yeah.
You're doing it. Yeah. That's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And you have a very impressive IMBD page.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. They were connected to a manager. They're not connected anymore to a manager.
So there will be someone else.
That's okay. I know. It's okay. It's all good.
It's all good. And I'm proud of you. I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad that we're able to have this time together. And you know, and
I started out a little negative. I'm sorry. It was like, you know, about the pitching and not getting requests and so on. You know.
No, but
So
see, but now you're saying now you're going to be getting lots of requests.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
right. It's like you're putting out that
Sure.
you want requests, and more so you want to be produced. And this McCoy story sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You
She's
know,
an amazing life. Yes.
yeah. You know, a young actress who'd be dying to play the part.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And have some real fun with it, and there are a lot of opportunities to get it done. So I'm excited for you. Yeah. It's like, yes, we'll be there. We'll be seeing some action. So
thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Sophia. Thank you.
Anyway, so thank you, Tina. Thank you so very much for your time.
And I look forward to talking with me.
Right. And Alyssa of the Field.
Yes. I'll send those to you.
Read that.
Your daughter would probably. How old is she?
She's 21 now.
Oh, she's 21.
I know.
Why did I think you have a teenage daughter?
Because she acts like she's 12 sometimes.
Don't we all? Well, she might like them. She might like them too.
Yeah. So she's, she still watches. She had me watch Animal Crackers last night.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Apparently, that's the big animation right now on Netflix.
I didn't know that. I'll have to look for it. I haven't seen it come up as being popular, but
it was. Oh, I'm like, okay, but like I said, animation's big right now. So if we can get you any type of animation script going, I mean, that's you know, a lot of these producers.
Well, even animated shorts.
Right.
I mean, on VPF, I didn't see a lot of people looking for shorts. I only saw like one or a couple people saying they would read shorts. But there are other places.
Right.
You know, lots of other places to pitch.
Lots of opportunities. Yeah. And just keep writing, just keep doing, and you know, and you're doing it. You are doing it.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sophia, very much. I'm going back out in the garden.
Okay. Well, how awesome. I wish I can do that. Well, I live in an apartment, so I haven't had a yard in years.
It's a lot of work. It's my weekend job. Unless it's raining, then I'm writing, but I'm also doing writing. I try to split it up, but
Well, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, Sophia.
Right, talk
Thanks.
To you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.